you. What up, family? Come on in, come on in, come on in. Got some technical difficulties today. I usually go live only on YouTube for 6 p.m. every Sunday. And this is my first time going live on Instagram and Facebook. So work with me a little bit. I'm learning this new software that I'm using. So I finally got it to connect to Instagram and Facebook, I believe. But I do have some other issues, but it's not going to stop tonight. So we're going to get into it tonight. We're going to get into it tonight. Here go my dude, man. What's up, man? How you made out this week, bro? Dynamic Force. He out there running that 5-axle RGN, making that paper. You got out of Texas this weekend, bro? Did you get out of Texas, or you still out there for the weekend? My guy, he had the deadhead out of Texas this weekend. What about you? We're going to have us a nice show tonight. Yeah, we is. We're going to talk to the brothers tonight about these women that they got on their team to help them build their business. Make sure they got the right women, right? So you did get out of Texas. All right. I got out of Texas from the port on the flatbed, headed up to Wisconsin. Bet. That's what's up, man. Be careful out there, man. The weather is a little crazy out there, bro. So just be a little crazy, be aware. Be careful, you know what I mean? It's storming and raining down here, man. So, but we're gonna get into it in a couple minutes, couple seconds. I'm trying to fix something on my end. Y'all excuse me for 1 second. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so let me fix this, back that up a little bit. All right, cool. So let's get into it. So those of you that know me, once again, it's my first time streaming live to Facebook and Instagram. I usually only do YouTube every Sunday. Once again, every Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. But today is the first time we're streaming live to Instagram and Facebook. So anyway, those of you that know me or that's been watching my channel know that I've been in trucking for a very, very long time, since a little bitty boy with my father. And then, so legally having my license, driving trucks, my own trucks, all that, a little bit over 20 years, right? So I definitely have had some experiences, especially with relationships with women, right? And I've also witnessed fellow brothers, people that has worked for me or driven my trucks or associates, stuff like that, has had some very interesting relationships as well with women when it comes to driving trucks, OTR, over the road, or just building a trucking business, whether it was on operator or they had a small fleet or whatever like that. So it made me want to get into this topic. And I also also was watching something with one of my mentors. Those of you that might know him, I'm in a training program, basically an online program with Alex Hormozy, and he does a live recording or live training every Monday. And I'm gonna show a little clip of what he was saying, and then I'm gonna kind of react to it a little bit, but then we're gonna get into it, right? So let me see if I can pull that up and go to it. Let me see where we at. All right. And it just made me think about some things, and it's something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, especially for men, because a lot of our brothers, they're struggling and they're dealing with issues with trying to build a business or get in business or just running OTR over the road. And when I was watching this, it just made me like kick in the gear and basically say, you know what? I'm gonna bring this out and I'm gonna talk about it. Right. So I'm gonna share my screen and let's see here. I'm gonna play this little clip right quick and then I'll be right back.
Layla and I had this realization that the number one kind of multiplier
Can
or
y'all hear it?
amplifier
Let me
on
know if
someone's
y'all can hear it.
effectiveness inside the business actually had a lot to do with what was going on outside of the business. And what's difficult for that as a business owner is that I want to be able to predict how well someone does over the long haul. And so if many variables exist, many variables must be studied, right? And so that's a B.F. Skinner quote. And so if we think about your subjective well-being, so your happiness metric, the strongest correlate to that of all variables is the strength of your relation with your significant other. Believe me, this is about making money and not being happy. That's not my shtick. So I will stay to my lane. But 0.71 correlation for your subjective well-being and your significant other. 0.71, really, really strong. Now, I do think that a significant part of that is whether your significant other helps you achieve your goals. And so the reason that this is so nasty is that I have had people who came into our companies and were what I thought were going to be stars. And then their significant other derailed them. And the reason that I think it's so insidious is that it's not done out of malice. And I think that's why it's so tricky, is that let's say you have a tough day at work and you go home and your significant other says, enough about your day. Let's talk about my day. And here's a big bowl of ice cream, or, hey, let's go out to dinner, or, hey, let's go see friends, right? All of that seems well-intentioned. The question that we have to ask ourselves is, does this increase or decrease the likelihood that I hit my goals? And I see hitting one's goals as essentially your relationship with yourself, which is why I see goal achievement as the most important thing that you can do in your life, because it's really just, do you keep your commitments to yourself? And before anyone jumps down my throat, the analogy that I would give is the very classic one, which is that when you're on an airplane, what do they say? You put your air mask on before you help others. And I think that your significant other was likely attracted to you to some degree based on your aspirations, what you want to do with your life. And what's interesting is that they will be attracted to that thing and then also be the source of that demise. They will do things and take actions that make it less likely that you achieve your goals and then complain about the fact that those goals have not been hit. And that's tough. And it's usually because they do not see that what they do hurts you. And I say hurts you not because, again, out of malice, but out of what happens, what occurs. And so this has been something I've been thinking of a lot, so much so that we are considering putting it as a part of our interview process for people coming in.
Were y'all able to hear that? I know y'all was able to see it, but were y'all able to hear it? Let me know if y'all was able to hear that. Somebody drop me a comment. Let me know if y'all was able to hear that. Got you. Okay, so right quick for those of you that do not know 𝐷𝐒𝐿, some people might not know who he is. He's a big equity guy. He let's see here. 𝐷𝐒𝐿 is an Iranian American investor, entrepreneur, and philanthropist known for his expertise in customer acquisition and monetization. He has founded and scaled multiple companies, including Gym Launch, which helps gym owners build profitable businesses. In 2021, he sold a majority stake in his licensed company for $42.6 million. 𝐷𝐒𝐿 has also scaled and exited 7 companies and founded 3 others that have reached over 120 million in cumulative sales. Now, it's a reason why I wanted to introduce him, so y'all, for the people that don't know who he is, now they know who he is. This is not just a slouch or someone that's just giving relationship, jumping on a bandwagon of relationship advice. This is someone that definitely started from what we would call the bottom, right? He moved to California and started his gym launch and was sleeping on a gym floor, and worked his way up from the bottom, and now he's here, right? So anyway, I've witnessed and I've been through myself some very, very serious relationship issues, especially when it came down to me going over the road and driving trucks, right? I know brothers and friends that has dealt with some serious issues when it came down to uh driving trucks over the road, when it came down to leaving the house, excuse me, leaving the house, being gone from the house, and coming back every other weekend, or coming back once a month or once every 2-3 months and stuff like that, right? That can be very, very hard, right? I remember there was a time, man, I was in a relationship, definitely won't say any names, anything like that, but I was in a very serious relationship, let me say that. And I was trying to get my trucking company off the ground. I was previously on operator, but I believe like the truck broke down and I had some issues, and I had to go back and get a job, kind of like start all over again. So I went through that. And then I bought another truck, right? So bam, I'm back on the road. I hit the road again, right? And we was getting into it like left and right because she kind of wanted to go on vacations and she wanted to spend money, and she like wanted to buy a new car and like, these things. And I'm like, man, look, just chill. Like that's not what I'm on right now. That's not what we on right now. We need to stay focused. We need to lock in, and we need to do what we need to do so we can invest in this business, which the business was a trucking business, right? I want to, do trucking and have a trucking business, be an owner operator, get a couple trucks, scale it up, right? Have a business so where one day I can, don't have to drive a truck no more, right? So I'm like, we fighting, like, just going back and forth about it. And she had a job. She was an entrepreneur, right? That's tip number one. Make sure that, brothers, when y'all find a women, man, make sure that you dealing with a woman that's evenly yoked, so they would say, right? But just on the same page as you. It can be very hard for an entrepreneurial man to deal with a 9 to 5 female. Very hard, right? So definitely be careful with that. But anyway, back to the story. So, I was going out of town, and I'll never forget it, man. It's a story that would always stick with me. I'm going up I-59, and it was like 2, 3 in the morning. I'm leaving out. I'm like on my way out, leaving the house, rolling, right? And we kind of was getting into it a little bit verbally on the phone. And I believe it was kind of like something about me being home more, and doing things more, and going out of town and vacation, stuff like that. And I kind of was just telling her, like, hey, look, no, we're not doing that. We're gonna do this. I'm going to work. I'm focused. I'm locked in. I gotta get this money. I gotta build this business. I gotta do what I gotta do, right? And I told her, I said, listen, I don't have uh an education like you do, right? She was in college and kind of had some, maybe she had a degree at the time, I don't remember, but um and then she had a good stable income, good career based job, right? And she even had some assets, right? And I was like, listen, I'm not like you. I'm an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Like, my life is different. I invest to make my money, and sometimes I lose the investment as far as the money part. But I learn, I learn and I gain this and I gain that. So we was just going through, the whole conversation, the whole spiel. I'm just giving her the whole spiel, right? And I never forget this. She told me something, and it was like, wow. When she told, it just kind of like hit me hard. And I was like, man, you got to chill. And I said, man, you just got to wait until I come up. You got to wait until I set myself up. And she asked me, she said, well, how long do I got to wait for you? Right. And I'm like, whoa, really? Right. So that was kind of painful. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm like, man, she's supposed to be with me. This is my girl, this and that, da da da. And she was like, how long do I have to wait? Like, why do I have to wait on you to do all these things you got to do or you want to do, right? But she asked me, like, how long do I have to wait? So that was something that I'll never forget, right? And I know a lot of brothers that go through the same thing or worse. I'm talking about worse. I've been out of town, when I was in the work in the oil field, and I've experienced, when we was in oil field, we used to like share rooms together sometimes, sleeping in hotels or going offshore and stuff like that. And almost everybody, probably 90% of the men was like divorced, right? On a second or third marriage. And I was like, wow, this is crazy, right? And a lot of truck drivers that I know right now, right? They either divorced or on a like second or third marriage, right? And I would talk to these dudes, right? And I would ask them questions like, man, excuse me, man, what happened? Like, what was it? What was going on? Or what, you know, these type of things, right? And they would kind of have similar stories about like, oh man, being away from home was stressful for her, or um I went out of town and I caught her cheating. You know what I mean? That's what they call it's adultery, but um that's what they call it, cheating, but it's really adultery, right? Anyway, not gonna get too deep into that. But you know, man, she cheated on me, you know what I mean? Or can't stay in the house, or she doesn't want to support my goals and my dreams and to build this business, right? Um, these type of things. And that's just the truck driver side of it, just being away from home. That's not even really like building the business. That was just, working in the oil field, working around a bunch of men, and we always gone, right? That's a job, right? That was a job, made good money, anywhere from 100 to 150, 175 on the high side, right? But that was just that. When you open up a business, right, i.e. a trucking business, totally different. It's a totally different ball game. Um, it's different. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. When you go to work and you work for someone, not knocking anybody that work for anyone if you're watching, because I started out that way, and I became an on operator, and then guess what? I didn't lose everything, but I've lost and went down, found bankruptcy, all these type of things. And guess what? Had to go work for someone again. It is what it is. It's no reason to feel any kind of way about that at all. Just get right back up, try it again, and keep going, right? But when you are set out to do something and you say, hey, I'm gonna open up a business, right? Listen, there's gonna be a bunch of issues that's going to happen, right? With starting this new business, okay? And especially, if you're a man, definitely listen to what I'm saying, because when you start this business and you have a woman, naturally you're going to look for your woman to help you, right? Now that can look different for all men, right? Let me see what's going on my camera. Give me a second. All right. I don't know why my camera does that sometimes. Just, I don't know. It does crazy stuff. But anyway, so you started this business. You're going to naturally look for this woman to help you, right? Because we're designed that way, right? You look in scripture, first chapter in the Bible, I shall make you a helpmate suitable for you. That's the whole purpose of the woman. I'm not going to get all the way into that tonight. Next weekend, the next show, Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, we'll get into that. More specifically for the ladies, but I'm talking to the brothers right now. So you definitely got to understand this, right? One of the things is this, right? That's crucial. You're going to go through a lot of ups and downs when you start this business, right? Especially a trucking business. A trucking business is not like any other business out there, right? Like, trust me, I'm telling you, I've done real estate. I've done uh, bar rooms. I've done a couple different things, right? Nothing is like trucking. Nothing is like truck. Trucking is one of those businesses you would do everything you got to do to start this business. You'll buy the truck, you'll buy the trailer, you'll start the authority, right? You'll pay, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 grand on insurance. You'll put down 3 to 5 grand on your trailer. You'll put 3 to 5 to 10 to $20,000 on your truck, right? You'll get your license plates. It might be, right around $2,000. You do all these things. You'll leverage credit, credit cards, all this stuff, and then you'll go to work, pull your first load, and on your first load, the engine can go out, right? Literally, and you're out of business, just like that, right? The first week, the first month. I'm telling you this because this happened to me. Like, I know this because this actually happened to me. I bought a truck one time, and on the way from driving a truck home, the engine blew. Just like that. Money down the drain. It was a cash truck, right? I bought a truck one time, and with the first month, the head gasket blew, right? That was like 15 grand, right? I had to shut the truck down, put it in the shop, get a rental truck. So now I'm paying the note on the first truck that the engine basically went out. I'm paying, I think it was like 800 a week on the rental truck. So now I gotta like work double as hard to keep up with the payments on the rental truck, my truck, just everything, and keep it going. It was just a mess, right? So understand that when you pick that woman, right, she's gonna need to be able to roll with you with that. She's gonna be able to, she's gonna have to be able to take that pain with that, right? So one of the, first and foremost, um, you have to understand as a man when you getting this woman that you have to have a vision, and your vision have to be strong. Like, you have to be so dedicated to your vision that nobody can mess you up. Seriously, right? Anybody, not just a woman, but anybody, right? Nobody can mess you up. Nobody can knock you off your rocker. Nobody can stop you. Nobody can tempt you or discourage you or any of these type of things, right? Because you have to be so locked in to where she can have something to lock in on, right? Because most of the time when women tend to see that a man is not really locked in on their vision, or whatever like that, it kind of can be hard for women to like follow you. They'll still deal with you, they'll still get in a relationship with you, stuff like that. But you might kind of like have a little trouble with like, hey, you wondering why she's not really rolling with you, but you kind of probably don't have nothing to roll with, right? Meaning like you don't have a vision, or if you do have a vision, you're not disciplined and locked in on your vision the way that you really should be. So to my truckers out there, if you have a vision to be an owner operator, right? Buy your own truck and go hit the road, right? Or have a smaller fleet, 3 to 5 trucks, which is a very, very good model, by the way. Or, build an empire of a trucking business, right? If that's the case, you got to make sure that you're really, really locked into that, because when you get her, you need to be able to communicate that to her and let her know, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm locked in on. I understand if you don't want to do that. I understand if you don't want to roll with that, but understand that there's going to be some ups and downs. I'm not, I don't want to do the 9 to 5. I want to have my own business, and whatever comes with me having my own business, being an entrepreneur, whatever it is, I'm going to roll with that. And if you with me, right, I need you to roll with me with that all the way, right? And guess what? You roll with me with that when the time comes for me to prosper in this, right? Guess what? You're going to be with me and I got you, right? You're going to get your blessings, right? So that's the first thing. You definitely have to, as a brother, as a man, have to have that vision, right? So another thing, you're looking at this woman and you've met this woman, right? Wherever you met at, most of the time, brothers, we meet them in the club or, somewhere in the street somewhere, right? And certain things on our mind when we meet this woman and we talking with her, but we're really not thinking about other things like, does she even have the potential to help me with my goals, right? I want to, start this business. First of all, I'm a truck driver over the road, right? Like I'm gone for weeks at a time, months at a time. Some of us, right? Like I used to do sometimes when I just would, want to just run the bag up and do some things, right? Get my money up. I would go to work for months at a time. I would just do that, right? And just live on the road and make my money. And if a load would bring me through the house, then it brought me through the house. If it didn't, then it just didn't. It really, it really didn't matter to me. I'm not gonna say it didn't matter. I'm gonna say that my goals was so important. I was so locked in. That's what I was doing, because I always knew that if I do certain things while I was young, when I get older, I didn't have to do those things no more, right? I still like to get in the truck sometimes and go pull loads, and especially like oversized loads and all these different type of things. But then at the same time, I didn't want to do that like for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to like drive a truck for the rest of my life, right? That's just me. Some men do, some men don't. Me, I didn't, right? So, you gotta think, bro. Like, does this woman have the potential to roll with me, right? Can she hold it down? Can she chill for the 2 to 3 to 4 weeks or months while I'm on the road, right? Would she mind coming with me while I'm on the road, right? Maybe, she'll go all in with you and say, you know what, listen, I got a job, but like I'll quit my job, I'll roll with you, I'll help you in the truck, right? And do the things that you need to do, right? Like, for example, out of all the years I've been in trucking, and I've been in trucking for a very, 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 very long time, right? And yes, I've had women that I was in a relationship with come with me in the truck, but I've never had nothing like I've had with my wife when she came with me on the road. She would just take care of everything, right? Like she would come with me, she would cook, clean the truck up, the other things I needed to, right? Just whatever it is that I needed to, keep me with a sound mind, keep me relaxed, keep me at peace, and just roll with me, right? And I'm talking about, this truck life. This real truck life. This wasn't I mean, it kind of was like a vacation, but it really wasn't a vacation. This is truck life. I'm talking, my truckers know what's happening, right? And my trucker wives that might be watching know what's happening, or that will watch this know what's happening. Like, when you're in the truck, you're in the truck. There's no shower in the truck. Okay. Like, you're eating different. The way that you're taking care of yourself is different. You're living different. Truck is constantly moving and shaking and bouncing, and it's a different lifestyle, right? So, definitely appreciate her for doing that for me. But at the same time, um, that was a thing, and she did that. So, brothers, once again, if you're gonna get a woman, maybe it might be wise to kind of think about, was she like come on the road with me and kind of roll with me, right? So you just kind of want to think about, like, when I pick this woman, or if I already have a woman, think about it. Is this woman helping me hit my goals as a man? Right? I said that I want to buy a truck. I said that I want to start my authority. And I said that I want to, or I have a goal that I want to start saving money to, start this business. But she's bothering me about a new car. And I'm not saying a car, a new car, or something, or she's bothering me about, going on this vacation, or her business, or her career, or something to that nature, right? Once again, don't get it confused. I'm not saying that to not be with a woman that has desires of doing certain things. But what I'm saying is, it's going to be very hard for you as a man to start and run this business if she's not on the same page with you. It can be very hard, right? Because you know she's going right, you going left, or you going right and she's going left, or whatever, right? So that's definitely something to think of, which will bring me into the next one, is like, is she on a journey with you, or she's on her own journey, right? Something to think about. Like, you on this journey and you're headed northbound, headed to, Chicago. But like, she like, nah, I want to go to Miami. And it's like, nah, we're going to Chicago. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, we're gonna spend the money this way, or I'm gonna spend the money this way. And she's like, nah, I want to spend the money that way, right? She might see a different path, right, that she wants to take. You might have a totally different path, right? So that's very important, you know, that you, once again, you have your vision. Um, you're not just drifting as a man, right? When I say drifting, meaning you're just going along with the wind, just going along whatever. You're like, you're set in your purpose. You're like, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. The Most High Yah gave me this gift. I'm going to multiply on this gift, and I'm going to give it out to the world, and this is what I'm doing, right? Are you helping me, and are you rolling with me with that or not, right? That's very, very, very important, right? If you're just coming in, please like the video for me. We had some technical difficulties earlier. My first time streaming to Instagram and YouTube. I'm sorry, Instagram and Facebook. I normally only stream to YouTube, and then my emailing list decided to act crazy, and I couldn't email everybody and let them know that we're live. So, but it's all good. We're here anyway, right? So definitely like the video if you're on YouTube, and wherever else you're at, Instagram, Facebook, like it, however you got to do that with that, for sure. Share it, right? Another thing is this, right? Which is very, very, very important, very crucial. The journey that you're on as a man, and your vision that you want, right? We spoke earlier about, you have to want it bad enough. But does she even want it? right? Like, does she want it, and does she want it bad enough? You know what I mean? Like, does she want it bad enough to where she's going to go through the ups and downs with you, right? When you say, hey, love, I'm not coming home this weekend, she might say, oh, okay, maybe the first time or the second time, whatever. Or you might say, hey, look, I'm gonna go on ahead and be on the road for the next month, 2 months, 3 months. Got to get this money. I just dropped all this money on this truck and this trailer and this authority, right? I ran up all my credit cards. Like, I did everything I had to do to start this business. I can't come home now. I gotta go get this bag. I gotta go get this paper. See what I'm saying? So, is she with you on that? Is she willing to roll all the way with you on that? Right? What about this? What if you did all of that, right? And the engine goes out, right? But yet, this your woman now. This is your woman. Not this is a woman you met and you're trying to be with. Say you got a woman, right? She's your woman, you're married or whatever, and your engine goes out, or something happens to the truck, right? Or the business, right? And you need some help. You needed to swipe that credit card, right? You know, uh, you needed to swipe that credit card. 1 second. You needed to swipe that credit card, or give you some cash, or go get a job, right? She willing to do that? She locked into the journey with you like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about this, brothers. Like, really, 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 you know, think about this. Really think about, because this can happen, right? This is not just, hey, I'm going to get this job. No, 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 no. You're starting a business. Totally different. Totally different. Like, most businesses fail in the first year. I think it's like 70 or 80% of 90 or something businesses fail within like 3 to 5 years or something like that. Like, it's not even a thing anymore after like the third year. It's not even a thing, right? Own operators, it's like 80% own operators fail within the first 3 years. Seriously. Like, really, right? So, and I believe, just me being in this space for a long time, me going through certain things myself, me constantly talking to men for over the years. I'm talking about over years, right? Of talking to these brothers, years of going through it myself, and just being around truck drivers working for me, right? Um, One of the main things for a man who's trying to be an owner operator, have a business, any business for that matter, but we're talking about a trucking business because that's what I do. One of the main things that get in the way of them being successful or not is them having a strong relationship or not. Let's go back to the video. I'm gonna play this clip one more time, right? We're gonna play this clip one more time. One more time. Let's check it out. And so if you look at one more time. All right, let's play this clip one more time.
Layla and I had this realization that the number one kind of multiplier or amplifier on someone's effectiveness inside the business actually had a lot to do with what was going on outside of the business. And what's difficult for that as a business owner is that you want, or rather, I want to be able to predict how well someone does over the long haul. And so if many variables exist, many variables must be studied, right? And so that's a B.F. Skinner quote. And so if we think about your subjective well-being, so your happiness metric, the strongest correlate to that of all variables is the strength of your relationship with your significant other. Believe me, this is about making money and not being happy. That's not my shtick. So I will stay to my lane. But 0.71 correlation for your subjective well-being and your significant other. 0.71, really, really strong. Now, I do think that a significant part of that is whether your significant other helps you achieve your goals. And so the reason that this is so nasty is that I have had people who came into our companies and were what I thought were going to be stars. And then their significant other derailed them. And the reason that I think it's so insidious is that it's not done out of malice. And I think that's why it's so tricky, is that let's say you have a tough day at work and you go home and your significant other says, enough about your day. Let's talk about my day. And here's a big bowl of ice cream, or, hey, let's go out to dinner, or, hey, let's go see friends, right? All of that seems well-intentioned. The question that we have to ask ourselves is, does this increase or decrease the likelihood that I hit my goals? And I see hitting one's goals as essentially your relationship with yourself, which is why I see goal achievement as the most important thing that you can do in your life. Because it's really just, do you keep your commitments to yourself? And before anyone jumps down my throat, the analogy that I would give is the very classic one, which is that when you're on an airplane, what do they say? You put your air mask on before you help others. And I think that your significant other was likely attracted to you to some degree based on your aspirations, what you want to do with your life. And what's interesting is that they will be attracted to that thing and then also be the source of that demise. They will do things and take actions that make it less likely that you achieve your goals and then complain about the fact that those goals have not been hit. And that's tough. And it's usually because they do not see that what they do hurts you. And I say hurts you not because, again, out of malice, but out of what happens, what occurs. And so this has been something I've been thinking of a lot, so much so that we are considering putting it as a part of our interview process for people coming in.
It's so serious to where they're going to they're going to make sure that the man and the woman have, a woman and a man, whatever, right? That they have a good relationship and they're on the same page before they even hire them. That's how much having a good relationship between two partners affects them and their role of working, right? And that's going to work for a company. So if you're the CEO of your company, right? Your business, right? Owner operator, right? And you're basically the number one person for the manpower and the knowledge and basically everything, right? Like when you're an owner operator, you're basically like doing everything, right? You're driving a truck, you're looking for the loads, you're doing a little bit of like all of it, right? So like think about that, right? How would that do you? Because the business is depending on you. And I said this earlier, your business, you have a relationship with your business too, right? Like your business is basically, when you created this business, you basically created another family member for your family, right? And when you first start the business, it's basically like your child. You know what I mean? So your business need love too, right? And if you, as a man, if you have a woman that doesn't understand that your business needs love and attention and caring, and because that same business Remember, it's an asset. You've created this business to be an asset. In the beginning, it's not really an asset because it hasn't really, you took out this debt. You took out debt. You're giving it all this time, and it haven't really repaid you yet. So in the beginning, it's kind of like a liability, right? It's just pulling energy from you, pulling money from you, pulling time from you. It's pulling all this stuff from you, but you really haven't really made a real profit yet. So, but the point of creating it and doing all this is to for it to be an asset one day and take care of you, right? So what something to think about. Read a couple comments. Richard Williams, what's up, Richard Williams? My wife will help out with money, but will not help out with dispatching or finding loads or getting shippers. Interesting. I know a little something about that, bro. Brokers, this is where I'm having a problem. No problem, man. Okay. Richard also says the lady don't have to help you. She just has to support you. Mm, I disagree. Uh in the Bible says, in the Bible, God said that he created the woman to be a helpmate for you as a man. It's in Genesis. You can read it. Richard Williams also says that's true. Oh my God, if you do God hit your goals, jump all over your can, call it sabotage. Yeah, right. True. So, once again, I see it all the time, man. I mean, I've had drivers, right, driving the trucks that I have now and in the past. You would be amazed some of the phone calls I have gotten and some of the things they have done to get home to that woman. And it's like, wow, man, she don't want you to make money. She don't, she doesn't want you to build this business. She doesn't want you. Like I've had I know I had a friend of mine. He had a truck and his wife told him, you need to get rid of that truck. You need to get rid of that truck. And because it's costing us too much money, is this, is that, and this and that. Now that was like, let me see, probably 8 to 9 years ago. And he had his truck, he was working for himself, right? Once again, nothing against nobody that has a job. I used to have a job and I've been, worked for myself, went back to having a job, worked for myself, went back to having a job. So that's not the point. The point is he had a truck working for himself and he was building himself up to be an entrepreneur. That was 8 to 9 years ago. And guess what? He's a supervisor at a company now and he's making an okay living, right? But he always talks about how he wanted to have that truck, wanted to have that business. So that's kind of like, that can hurt. You know what I mean? The Walk says, my wife is willing to start a dispatching business and also mention getting her CDL as well. Man, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up. You got your one there, bro. Handling your business, man. I'm gonna read that again. We're gonna read that again. The Walk says, my wife, his wife, is willing to start a dispatching business and also mention getting her CDL as well. That is what's up. That's what's up, man. You got you something there, man. You got you something there. And that's what it's about. I mean, to help out however she can help out, right? Because all women are different. Some women, uh, are, all women are not the same, right? All women don't share the same talent. All women don't bring the same thing to the table, right? Um, but just whatever she brings to the table, right? Whether it's something on the personal side, on the business side, just riding with you, right? Like that is something that's very big, right? And I get it. Some women can't really do that because they got a job or they, whatever, right? But like there are certain things like she don't have to be superwoman, right? But she just not hurt the business, right? Or pull away from the business. Just help you, whether it's riding with you, whether it's, hey, I'm gonna pack your food for a week, right? I can't come with you, but like, hey, I'm gonna pack your food for a week. Hey, we gonna, I'm gonna help y'all by hitting you on that FaceTime and doing what we do, right? Um, maybe she will open up a dispatching business and help dispatch. Maybe she'll make the sales calls, right? She might say, well, you know what? I'm gonna open up a brokerage to get our own freight and like help you. All right. Or maybe I'll use my credit to buy trucks, whatever. It can go so many different ways. It's not like a cookie cutter way of how this can happen, right? It's really about what you want and what you see, how it can help you, right? Um, uh, let's go through some of these comments. I'm sorry, brother. Charles Smith says, I was told by a female acquaintance that I wanted to be serious with, that I choose trucking over her. I sat her down and broke down how we can make money. She said, that's your dream, not mine. She was honest. Man, I would have been so grateful for her to be just honest with me like that. Oh man, she didn't waste your time, bro. She didn't waste your time. Like they got some out there, they will waste your time, right? Uh on one hand, it could have kind of been a little messed up because maybe you wanted to be with her and you loved her, whatever. But at the same time, she didn't waste your time. She kept it, you kept it real with her. You sat her down, you had a conversation with her, and then boom, you know, she put you on game. Um, Richard Williams says, when you're at home, it's why you're at home. Question mark. Okay. When you're at home, it's why are you okay, I'm sorry. Okay, when you're at home, it's why are you at home? Question mark. When you're on the road, it's why you're not at home. I haven't seen you lately. Yeah, I don't really go through that one. Um Mine is more of a you're leaving? Like where we going? I don't really have that. That's nah, I would have to kind of like stay here, that type of which that's not an issue for me. Either, because like, hey, let's roll, you know what I mean? But not really that, but I got you. Richard Williams also said, yes, I get that a lot. Oh my, it's your dream, not mine. Yeah. That could be a thing, man. That could be a thing. Charles Smith says it's the OTR part, I guess, not found of local, but compromises couldn't be made. Yeah, that over the road is different. But once again, what if she was actually a woman that wanted to be a part of that, right? Because it's different than like, hey, I want to be with you. It's like, you want to be with me, you want to be with all of me. Like, this is what I got going on. You know what I mean? Like right now, they got so many female truck drivers that's like driving trucks. Maybe y'all can team. They got so many females that like just want to travel. Maybe she can come travel with you. They got so many females that want to be a dispatcher, that want to be a broker, right? So for men that's already have a woman, maybe that can be a little tough to kind of deal with. But like my brothers that's out there and they're like just now getting into, about to find a woman. Once again, maybe go in that direction and kind of, talk with and rock with the woman that's like that, right? Uh and everybody, please like the video. Richard Williams says, you got a superwoman, right? Question mark. There got to love the wow. She's willing to start a dispatching company. You married the right one. Yeah. Yeah, he did. That's what's up. I'm gonna put that back up on the screen, man. I'm gonna put that up there. We're gonna read that one more time, man. The walk says, my wife is willing to start a dispatching business and also mention getting her CDL. So that means she's willing to start a business, dispatch. That means she got to learn about dispatching, do the dispatching, learn how to get a CDL, learn how to, because you got to do the, and now it's not like back in the day when I got mine. I just went, took the test and just got my CDL. Now you have to, I think, like go do some stuff online or something like that. I can't remember, but it's like a lot more to do, right? So she would actually have to learn how to, pass the test. Then she had to learn how to drive and then go past that test. That's a lot. And she's willing to like drive that big old truck, like drive the truck. That's what's up, man. The Most High has definitely blessed you for sure. Charles Smith says, Richard Williams, bro. Charles Smith says 100. So with that being said, next week we're going to tap into and we're going to specifically talk about and to the sisters. I'm going to send out a link I was going to send it out this week, but I had some difficulties, right? Basically what people can like actually jump on, get on camera, talk, get some more engagement. Let's have us a good conversation, good back and forth dialogue, stuff like that. But next week is going to be for the sisters, for the women, right? Basically, how to be a trucker wife, or advice on how to be a trucker wife, right? The walk says, also not sure what everyone's beliefs are, but if you keep God, quotation mark, Jesus Christ, right? For me, Yahshua, the Christ, in the center of your relationship, there is no task too hard, not even relationship issues. OTR, definitely 100, right? Definitely agree with that. You put Yah first, and you follow the King of all kings, Yahshua. It's no problem for you, man. So with that said, please like the video. Let me go on ahead and put this up here. I do have a community for those of you that don't know. It's free right now. Those of you that are in the free community now, I'm about to basically shut that community down, start a new one. And when I start this new one, it's going to be a paid community. But the people that that's already in the free community, I'm going to grandfather them in, and they're going to be able to get into the paid community for like much of nothing at all. And they're going to constantly monthly have that same price because it was already in the free community. It was rocking with me. When it was free, it was rocking with me when I was learning, which I'm still learning how to do all this. So I'm going to give them a gift for starting with me very early. Okay. Another thing, if you're interested in dispatching services, definitely text the number 985-326-1699, or you need a consultation to help you start your freight dispatching company or trucking company, get your own truck, start your authority, stuff like that. Hit me up, and you can email me as well at info@tptdispatch.com. Okay. With that being said, we're going to go on ahead and I will see y'all